Welcome, Taurus, to my channel. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for liking and sharing and subscribing. I hope you enjoy the reading. It's a general reading, and it may apply to you or somebody else that is close to you at this time. And yeah, if you have a strong influence from another sign in your birth chart, then please feel free to cross-watch to my other videos for further insights. I have shuffled and laid out the cards. I deal with the 12 houses of the zodiac, and as the cards appear in each house, then those are the influences that are coming into to bear for you at this time. So in the first house we have water element, which is sensing. So now the first house is everything to do with yourself. It's your actual body, your physical body, your vitality, and it's how you appear to others, how you come across to others. So it's your personality, your characteristics, and how you look, your physical body. But it's also your own self-oriented interests. So it's everything to do with the self, really, how you project yourself to others, how you make your way in the world. Yeah, it's sort of your daily, how your output, whatever it is that you're sending outwards to others. So now with the water element sensing coming in there, what this is asking you to do is to just go with the flow at this time. So you need to be following your feelings and instincts at all times. There's quite a lot of this throughout your chart in this month. It really is about a lot of deep soul searching and contemplation and self-analysis, and then balancing that with action at the same time. So it's a bit of both at this time. So now with following your feelings and your instincts, you may not going with the flow, you may feel a little bit adrift, or you may not see into the depths of the sort of the current that you're in at this time. But just go with the current. Maintain your boundaries though, because there will be a few challenges to that. So you've got to keep your hand on the wheel. You've got to keep steering, but just go with how things are moving at this time. You may also need some time alone to just recharge and gather your resources. Take some time out and just float a little bit, because that's going to be very necessary for you. It's almost like self-preparation for the action period. So it's a time of withdrawal where you actually, it's almost like a pause. Take time out and then you start gathering your resources and just to recharge your energies as well. You may also be required to be compassionate and understanding with certain elements around you, but you can also bring in imagination, you can bring in creativity and the arts. Any activity around that will be very good for you at this time, and it will help to balance your energies as well. So if you have some kind of artistic interest or a creative interest, or you just enjoy, imaginative activities, then, enjoy that. And that will help to balance your energies. You may also be want to spend time near water, bodies of water, whether that's the sea or lakes or rivers or whatever works for you, but it will be very helpful for you at this time. Then in the second house, we have Aries, I am. The second house is everything to do with your income, your money that's coming in. It's also your possessions, what you own, property, and your self-worth, and also your value systems, what you value in your life. And with Aries, I am coming in there. As I said, there will be periods where you'll be resting, and then other times where you'll be needing to take action. And in this particular house, there will be action required. So in this situation, you're going to be needing to move ahead on something. But the best way to handle this energy is not to just go at it like a bull in a china shop. You need to actually have disciplined action. That is really the biggest and best way to use this energy. So move ahead, and you may need to move at speed, but it's disciplined actions. It's also getting things started. You may need to start something. Just avoid the dramas of others. Forge ahead on your own if you need to. And this card also brings in vision and impetus. It's actually the motivation to move forward on something. You may need a no-nonsense approach, direct, straightforward cards on the table. You may have to sort of jump into something quickly or move quickly to take advantage. There may be a little bit of a test of will coming up for you as well. So whether this is a money issue that's coming and you need to take action on it, or it could just be a very personal issue to do with your self-worth or your self-belief, something like that. You may need to take action on that. But this is quick, disciplined action is required, or getting something started, something that you want to start. But as I said, you may need to just be doing that on your own. It might be better for you to be doing it on your own at this time. Then in the third house, you have Black Moon Lilith, mystery. Third house is everything to do with communication, all forms of communication, written, verbal, body language. It's also contracts and documents. It's also it's also short trips, although I don't feel that is it's more like long trips coming up for you at this point. But with Black Moon Lilith, a mystery, there could be something going on that you're just not quite sure. You haven't got all the facts. Something's kind of lurking. You're not quite sure what's going on or what the full extent of it is. But in any case, you need to be careful what you say at this time. Once it's said, you cannot take it back. So, you need to contemplate. Again, this word keeps coming up. You need to contemplate, go within before you express yourself. Just be careful with what you say and how you say it. Avoid reacting out of anger or bitterness or revenge. Or what you will do is you will undo the solid work that you have done. So think about that. You may need to stand your ground on certain issues, but use integrity with that. There could be something to do with a female in your environment. Either they are exhibiting a sort of like a rebellious attitude, or almost like a bitchiness attitude, or you just may see it, or that may be you putting that energy in. Try to avoid that. By all means, stand your ground, but do it, as I said, with integrity. You just may feel like something is off. You're not quite sure what's happening. You haven't got all the facts, or you may be waiting for something to happen as well. There's a little bit of mystery going on. You may also need to spend time alone. Again, as I said, just to if you need to speak up about something, perhaps spend a bit of time, if you can, on your own, or just alone, or just go within to assess what it is you need to say and how you need to say it first. The third house also covers interactions with certain family members. So this can be cousins, aunts, uncles, and relatives of that nature. It's also siblings. So as I said, just be careful with what you say at this time, and also just go over your documents and your contracts, because as I said, something that just may not be clear, or you may not have all the facts at your hand. And if you fire off and say something out of turn, it could come back right at you. Then in the fourth house, we have Pisces, I believe. Your fourth house is your house of home, your physical home. It's also the environment in your home, the atmosphere there, and it's also your actual identity, your ethnic identity, or the foundation or the roots that you came from, like your family tree, your family foundation. It's all issues around that, so like early childhood almost. So now, with Pisces, I believe, coming in there, I think what this is about is having a bit of faith and trust. You may just need to spend time in retreat periodically. It came up before about taking time alone. It keeps coming up. And especially if it's in your home environment, you may have other people in your home environment, or somebody in your home environment which is stirring up trouble for you, or they're just very draining on your energy. Perhaps they've got complications or dramas going on, all these issues there, and they just may be draining you at this time, because you're a solid sign, practical. You've got wisdom, natural wisdom, and so on. They may just be taking a bit of advantage. It's almost like a victim consciousness, something like that. Or it could just be that you are under a lot of pressure, or you're just feeling like you need to retreat and withdraw a little bit and spend a bit of time on your own. So that's very helpful, and also just to find your faith and your trust as well, because you will be feeling very sensitive at this time. But with that comes imagination, creativity, and inspiration. So if you're artistic or you're creative in any way, that is going to be heightened for you, and so channel your energies into that, because that's going to be very helpful for you. You may be wanting to, you may be having, you've got a studio at home, or you want to paint, or you want to do something at home, or you just want to redecorate even. It could be something to do with that, to make your home your place of refuge, or have a room of retreat. It's also about music and art, candles and oils. All of those all come into this energy. So bring that into your home to create an aura of peace and tranquility, a place where you can meditate and enjoy a bit of respite. As I said, you may have an influence in the home which is draining you or is complicated in some way. You just need to protect your space. You need to protect your own personal space, or have a space where you can go to just chill and be by yourself and enjoy a bit of downtime. Things may be a little bit clouded as well. Maybe there's some issues around your home which are uncertain. It keeps coming up. There's some issues perhaps that haven't been sorted out, or you haven't got all the facts. Things may just be a bit clouded, almost, like you're just not seeing, you can't see everything to do with that issue. It could also literally be water in the home. It's a water sign, and it's, you may have water issues in your home, or you may have had some kind of water issue, burst pipes or something of that nature, and you may be having to deal with that, or it could come in at some point, so just be aware that might happen as well. It's basically the rising of the emotions in your home, and that's all water-based, but literally it can mean water in the home. In the 5th house, we have South Node, life's debts. So your 5th house is the house of children, whether they're your children or other children that you're associated with. So it's the house of children, it's the house of creativity, and that can be in all forms of creativity, whether it's writing or imagination, or the way you dress, or the way they speak, or the way you do your children's parties. It can be all kinds of ways. And it's also the house of love affairs, and it's the house of recreational activities. So that's having fun and getting out and about and doing things with others. Now, with the South Node, life's debts coming in, it's not a fun card, this. I'll be honest. So in that house, you're going to be having some kind of turning point, an ending and a beginning coming in for you. So something will fall away and something new and fresh will start. It's also a karmic card. So if that's something for you, something that you're aware of, karmic issues will be coming to light now, karmic things that you have to now deal with. So really, this is a sort things out card, really. That's what it is. You need to deal with anything that is unfinished or unresolved. You need to do that so that you can move forward, because this is about dropping emotional baggage, or dropping any kind of baggage, releasing it, dealing with it, and moving forward. You have to move forward. You must move forward in order to harness the best possible potential in this lifetime. You cannot do that if you're burdened with multiple issues and multiple baggages going on, with all different things stuffed in there. You actually have to methodically work through them and deal with them. If you're in any kind of a rut, you need to get out of it. You must take stock and release what is not working for you. Now, this could be for you personally, and it could also be that you're seeing it in your children. You may be seeing that coming up for them, and you are actually in it with them as well. So see how that flies for you. Or it could be, as I said, to do with a love affair, something that needs to be dealt with now. So take stock and release what is not working for you, or your children may have to do that. You need to get ready for what comes next, because this card is all about closing one door and opening another. And this door needs to be opened. It's your future. It's your future potential, the highest vision of yourself, or your children's highest vision of themselves. You will also possibly be meeting other people from your soul family. These are people that you have some kind of deep connection with. It's instantaneous, and it's a very comforting, and it's a very recognizable bond that you have with these people. They may be new friends or people that you're meeting. Just somebody will come into your life and you just have an instant connection with them. So they may be coming in for you as well, whether that's a love affair, as I said, or something to do with yourself, your own particular project that you're working on, or it could be something coming in to do with your children. But it's about overcoming blocks, obstacles, anything like that. You must get rid of all of those. You must deal with them and move forward. So if that's going to bring in this deep contemplation and self-analysis to overcome, that is what you must do to really make progress in this house. Then in the sixth house, we have Scorpio, I transform. Another get it done card. The sixth house is everything to do with your work, your workplace, your work colleagues, your work projects. And if you don't work with others and you work on your own, this is mastery of your craft, whatever it is that you do. So it's mastery of that. It's also your daily routines. It's your health and your diet, and it's also the house of pets. Okay, so now with this coming in for you, you may just need to go it alone, and in fact it's probably better if you do at this time. You're going to have to dig deep with this card. You really are going to have to do a lot of self-analysis and a lot of deep contemplation, as yet again it comes up. This is a really dig deep card. You're going to have to keep toiling away on your goals, your ambitions, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. You need to be resourceful. You're going to be going through quite an intense and demanding time. And if you're in a work environment, just avoid power struggles. And if you have to do it, be very, stand your ground and be very, very clear about what you are trying to achieve. So there may be power struggles. Avoid any intrigues going on in your work environment. Anything that might be sort of lurking, or some secrets may come to light. Like I said, intrigues going on. Just stay out of it and keep your nose down and get on with what it is that you need to do. Money matters may also come up with this card, and this could be to do with the past. So whether you're dealing with furnishings or matters to do with like relatives or something, but it's something to do with the past. Matters coming up, money matters coming up to do with that. It could also be taxes or financial matters to do with that coming up. But whatever it is, money matters are going to be important at this time. And if it's rolled up with your work, then that is going to be front and center for you to deal with as well. On the health and diet side of things, as I said, there will be you won't be needing time for self-analysis, whether you go for counseling or whether you tackle this on your own. Or whether you go and spend time with therapists of all kinds, whether that's just looking after your body or just spending time in meditation or whatever it is. But therapy of all kinds can come in for you at this time. And it's about regeneration. So whatever you can do to support your body and your mind and your emotions during this intense period, whatever you can do to support yourself in that, very, very wise thing to do. So that will help to relieve the stress and any tenseness that's going on during this very important growth period in your work life. Then in the seventh house, we have Yod, destiny. So the seventh house is everything to do with your personal one-on-one relationships. It's also to do with your, it could be a business partnership, not necessarily a love partnership, but it's any one-on-one close personal relationship that you may be involved with at this time. So now this card coming in, another quite intense card. There's going to be disruptive energy going on. It's a stressful time or a stressful period that you're going through. This is about you may be needing to find your truth on your own. So again, the self-analysis and the sort of contemplation comes in. So whether you're wanting to move forward with a relationship or you need to reorient the one that you have got, whether it's a business or a love partnership, there's going to be work to be done on this. And it's going to feel like, it's going to feel like a very sharp pointed energy on one particular area. And you may just also feel out of sorts with your partner at this time, possibly because of other stresses going on in your life, or just other energies that are going on. And you may just feel a bit disconnected from them or out of step with them at this time. Again, take time to be alone, to, just to deal with all the different things that are happening. But whatever it is, it's important to keep going. Although things may not seem clear, you may not know exactly what direction you're headed in, but it's important to keep going, to keep working through each thing as it comes up for you. You know deep inside what steps to take, actually. You know in yourself, your instincts. That's what that first card was all about. You need to really tap into your instincts and go with your feelings. So once you go inward, once you go deep inside and actually access that knowledge and that wisdom, you will know what steps to take. There may be a few health issues which come up in your relationships, perhaps possibly you're dealing with something like that. And whatever it is going to be, it's going to have to be dealt with, and it's going to be to such an extent that it will change your lifestyle for the better. But that period of changing and adapting will feel quite tense, and it will require a lot of energy from you. So whether you are going through this or your partner is, it's going to require for you to be digging deep, as I said. Patience. There's purpose in it, what you're doing. You're going to have to be dedicated, and you need to streamline. You really need to streamline how you've been living your lives up until now to get to the root of it, to know yourself better and understand how you can move forward, what steps need to be taken, and so on, so that you can get back into flow in your relationships. Okay, now in the 8th house, we have Jupiter Abundance, lovely card coming in for you, some relief here. So now the 8th house is the, I feel this is going to come in for you once you've done all these other aspects, once you've put into place everything that we've already discussed. Because that is what Jupiter is, a reward, okay? So now the 8th house is everything to do with your big finance. So this is big money. This is your investments, your banking, your accounting. It's also dealing with other people's money as well. But it really is, the legacies, insurance, all kinds of big investments and stuff that really requires, it could even be taxation as well. So it's big money, big things that you need to be looking at. It covers that. The 8th house also covers the sexuality between you and your significant other, and it's also the emotional and material resources which you are merging in a committed relationship. So whether that's a love partnership or whether it's a business partnership, it's the merging of your emotional and material resources, how you're going to do that. The 8th house also covers psychic development, if that is something for you. But it's a powerhouse. It's all about sex, death, and rebirth. So it could be the regeneration of something as well. Perhaps a door closing, another one opening, which did come up for you before as well. But it is a powerhouse. There's a lot of deep energies going on in this. So now with Jupiter, the card of abundance coming in, this can manifest in a variety of ways. It could just be the divine stepping in to assist you as well. So divine help. You could be given the strength to go on. If you're struggling with something, you could be given the strength to really get on top of it and square it away. It's about faith. It's about finding belief or having belief. So it's a renewal of that. It's also about blessings coming in for you. So I feel it's also overcoming difficulties, and it's the joy and the positive outcome that comes from that. So the joy after a difficult time, a positive outcome. It can also be a gift, some kind of gift coming to you. It could also be just abundance, and when I say just abundance, it could be manifesting in a variety of ways. It can be money, it can be finance, or it can be a raise or a loan or something of that nature, or it could be just really support when you absolutely need it. and that can be coming from a variety of different sources. You could just be feeling more abundant in yourself, and the minute you change your attitude and your perception, then everything around you starts to change as well. So blocks will be lifted away, whatever blocks you're facing. And it's also a change of luck. So if you've had a difficult period, you could be getting a lucky break of some kind. The thing is with Jupiter is with these blessings and abundance coming in for you, don't get carried away. Overindulgence, overspending, or taking things for granted come in with this as well. It's the flip side of the wonderful joys and gratitude and abundance that come with Jupiter. So it's a balancing of that. So if you get a wonderful windfall, don't blow it all overnight. Think carefully about what you want to do. And as I said, in your second house, the money that's coming in, how you're going to use it effectively and do good with that, the greatest good. Then in the ninth house, we have Grand Trine Blessings, another lovely card. So now the ninth house covers all things to do with international stuff or foreign people or foreign cultures, anything foreign. So this is the you meeting the world or the world coming to you in some way or form. So it could be an import-export business that you want to start, or you're going online and you're now connecting with people around the world, or you are literally traveling. And this is international travel, as I said, it's long-distance travel. So, it's mixing with other cultures, going to other cultures, meeting other people, or it could be somebody meeting others who are from another place, have different cultural beliefs or are of different ethnicity to you, you meeting them and coming to, an understanding about them. It's also the ninth house is also the house of teaching. It's the house of philosophy. It's the house of religion. And it's the house of belief systems as well. It's also the house of public relations, publishing. It's the house of law, and your in-laws as well, if that applies for you. So it covers quite a broad spectrum, and it also covers further education and study. So that's university education, or it could be adult education, or some kind of course that you perhaps are contemplating, or you're giving, perhaps you're teaching it as well. It's also the house of prophecy, if that's something for you. So there's a lot of that coming in that's wisdom, and this can be gained through studying a variety of different things. So with Grand Trine Blessings coming in, you can expect some harmony or easy flow in this house. Keep your eye on your goals. You're going to have to keep you're still going to have to steer the ship there, but steer your ship but ride the wave, whatever wave is coming in for you. This card is also about right place, right time. So you could just pick up exactly what you require, or something will come to you which is exactly what you require. So it's also about following opportunities. Opportunities are going to flow into you. You need to look at them all. Don't let any pass you by. Not everyone will be right for you, but in there will be the right thing. But you've got to apply effort in order to harness the best from this card. So now you also need to finish what you start with this energy. So it's a feeling of completion, wholeness. So whatever has been around that you need to finish off, then finish it. It's also success after a real effort. So as I said, that real effort that you need to apply is coming in different areas of your life, and this is bringing in blessings for you. With this coming in, it implies earned luck. Okay, earned luck. So now, whether this is a trip overseas or some kind of adventure that you're going on, or it's an exploration or a gift, or you're going there to do with the work or what you're studying, or as I said, it could be just exposure to other people from, that are going to bring fresh ideas and new perspectives in for you, or it's a business to do with international things. There are blessings in that, however that applies for you. Right, in the 10th house, we have lunar eclipse change. So your 10th house is your house of career. It's the house of your ambitions, authority figures. It's also the house of your fame, your reputation, and your public status. So with lunar eclipse change, it is exactly what it says there. Changes are ahead. They may be abrupt and they may be unexpected. But whatever it is, it will be an upheaval of some kind. It could also be a bubbling over of something. So this is something rising to the surface that needs to be dealt with, or something rising up that will cause the change. So this is something that you just haven't dealt with before, or you just didn't notice it. But it's kind of been sitting there under the surface, bubbling away, and now it comes out. So this is a necessary change. It's inevitable. But you will feel out of your comfort zone. It will entail an ending and a beginning. So it's the ending. Something will fall away and a fresh start will come in for you. But just bear in mind that it is necessary and it is inevitable. It's something that you really need to do. And I feel this is connected also to your house of work, where you had, all of those other issues coming in. There's going to be shifts and changes, and it's going to require some effort from you to actually just work your way through all of those difficulties. But this is definitely bringing in the change for you. So once that change has come about, it takes place between sort of six weeks, over a 6-week period through, and it probably will reach completion within 6 months. So it could also be that you're gaining, if you don't have a career and that's not applying for you, then it's a change of status or a change of some other major force in your life, whether it's an authority figure or something that you've looked up to, or that you've been sort of driven towards in your life. But a change is coming in, and it may just be also a change of perspective for you. Some kind of shift occurs, and all of a sudden you see things in a very different way. Your old habits will fall away. And now is the time to recreate, do the self-analysis, do the deep work, figure out what it is, find your truth, and then you will be able to harness the best of this, which is to bring in the fresh change, a new start for you, so that you can really move forward. And I feel this is also linking into your 5th house, which was bringing in, dropping the karmic baggage, dropping old things, so that you can move forward as well. Then in the 11th house, we have earth element stability. The 11th house is your house of friendships, and it's the house of your associations, your group activities, social groups, whether that's networking online or Facebook or however, or it's actually physically groups that you're part of, like associations, societies, clubs, any kind of network, any kind of group situation, could even be a book club. So this is... so this is the, it also covers, 11th house also covers your ideals. It covers your personal hopes and wishes, and your hobbies and your interests. And it's all about the future and what you're dreaming about. It also brings in global or group consciousness, and it can also bring in social reform and causes. So any kind of system. So now with this coming in, I feel this is going to be with various changes that are going on. I feel this is going to affect you probably most specifically with your friendships, but also possibly with other people that you are in a group with, whether it's something to do with your work or with the work that you do. But this is about really stabilizing and really harnessing the very best stabilizing factors of your friendships and of those support groups that you're part of. You really need to anchor yourself in your friendships, and also anchor your ideals, your hopes and your wishes, your interests. You really need to get a firm grip on that and plant deep, get your roots firmly in the ground, because this is going to support you. This is going to carry you through some difficult periods or some changes and transitions that are going on. Any kind of transformational transition. This is really going to need to lean on these people, and hopefully they will give you the support that you require. Either that, or you may be required to bring that stabilizing influence into the groups that you're members of, or amongst your friendships. You could be seeing somebody in one of your friendships going through difficult times. You may need to provide this stable influence. But it really is about anchoring, getting your feet firmly planted, so that you can bend and sway with what's going on, but that you have that support, and that you're firmly grounded in what you're doing. Also, this brings in all kinds of interests to do with nature and the earth. It's like gardening, nature activities, animals, work with animals, whether they're wild or whichever way is going to work for you. But it's about getting out in nature. You're going to get a lot of benefit from that. Any kind of activity around that, with, as I said, that's gardening or some kind of nature activity. Any of those things are going to be wonderfully helpful to you at this time. And it may be a group that you join that does that, whether it's hiking or whatever. But any kind of activity like that is going to be helpful for you now. With this coming in, you may also just, as I said, you may need to gather your strength and really dig deep for your truth and cling to that at this time. Really plant yourself firmly. You may also just, being an earth sign yourself anyway, a Taurian, so that what you need to do is also just avoid being too stuck. Don't get so stuck that you simply are paralyzed and can't move forward in any way, and then you're so entrenched in very old ways of doing things. So try new things. Let go of fears about trying new things as well. By all means, explore, do those, anchor yourself, but you need to also explore. You need to bend and sway and move with what's happening around you. Try new things, stay present, stay grounded, do activities close to nature. You could also be meeting some very powerful connections at this time through your groups or through your activities. You're going to be meeting people that are really, can be very supportive and very helpful to you and your goals in the future. Then in your 12th house, you have Saturn Truth. So this is the Face It card. It's about getting real. So now the 12th house covers your deep unconscious self, your beliefs, and it's your mysticism and your spiritual life. It's also about healing. It also covers, the 12th house also covers time for solitude and reflection. Just spending time on your own, and that is indicated very heavily in your chart, as I said. It's also about escapism and addictions of all kinds. So just be aware of that. If you have an issue with that, deal with it. Saturn won't let you escape that, I'm afraid. Any kind of escapism is going to be a problem for you, because not with Saturn around. You just simply won't be able to get away with anything, really. So, or if it's not you, then it could be somebody in your environment who is going through that. But whatever it is, it's about facing the truth. And there's going to be, again, some deep contemplation required here. It's also lessons to learn about the self. About yourself, just sort of going through all the different unconscious beliefs, whatever it is that you need to have a look at. It's about digging all that up and having a good look at it. It's about assessing your needs and your wants. Saturn is about needs, not about wants. So it's streamlining. It's really having a thorough assessment and getting rid of what's not working for you anymore. You won't be able to escape. You won't be able to escape it either. You will really need to apply yourself. It's also about taking responsibility, and there may be correction required of some kind, a resolution to something that you've been grappling with. It could also be that you will, with Saturn there, it could also just be actually that you're going to meet somebody who is an authority figure, who could be like a guru or a mentor or a teacher or a father figure, somebody really who can be very helpful to you and who's going to give you or help you to put the foundation in place for whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. So very helpful. So it could also just be an authority figure as well, almost like a taskmaster. If this applies, if you perhaps work in this field, perhaps you work. It could also be work or experiences in institutions of all kinds. So that's hospitals, banks, government departments, libraries, universities, prisons even. Any kind of institution, the 12th house governs that. So if you're working in that environment, then you may have an authority figure in there who's going to help you or who's going to really put you through your paces at this time. So, but it's also your experiences, whatever experiences you have in any of those institutions. This is about taking responsibility. It's about playing by the rules and being fair. So it's a very rules-based experience to be going through, and there's a bit of hard work and a bit of graft that's going to be required in that. You could also be sort of age issues may be coming in here. You may be looking at old age homes for somebody that you're related to. This may come in. Or it could be sort of to do with monetary issues and taxes and things like that. So there's quite a bit that comes in with this card, but I feel it is really to do with to facing various issues, and perhaps there is an age issue. Perhaps you're dealing either yourself, you're looking at your retirement, or you may be dealing with somebody who requires that, or you may just work in an institution which deals with the aged. This does come up. With Saturn also, the deeper issues in yourself, Saturn rules the heart, the bones and the skeletal structure in your body, your teeth. It's also to do with tendons and ligaments, the supportive structures of your body. So those may come up, something may come up to do with that at this time as well. All right, Taurus, well, I hope you have a very good month, and yes, take care, and thank you for liking and subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Thank you.